Hi everybody. So today I want to talk about euthanasia and whether or not it's part of your pet's divine timing of passing. And so first I want to start off by saying that I firsthand know how hard it is to choose euthanasia because I had to do it for my dog Angel. And it took me years of not being sure whether or not I made that right decision, even with her in spirit telling me that I did. And so basically what she told me was she would have lived 3 more days, but those 3 days would have been, she wasn't completely all there and it would have been uncomfortable. And so I do know firsthand how hard it is and how we have regrets after. So with that being said, I want to say that when we're all on the heavenly plane, we talk about what our life mission is, what we want to learn on the earthly plane, and we also know our approximate time of passing. And our approximate time of passing often is when we are done, or we've done as much as we can on our soul mission. So when your pet has done everything they can to help you complete what your soul growth, what you two agreed upon, then it's time for them to pass, and then their body starts to shut down. They are very much aware of what their soul mission is, and they're very much aware that their body is shutting down. They are not afraid ever to pass. I have had some pets tell me that they don't want to pass yet because their human doesn't want them to. But I've never had a pet tell me that they don't want to pass because they don't want to. In fact, when I talk to pets who are seniors, many times they tell me, I'm a senior, and they tell me their bucket list and all that, but they also will say, I'm ready to pass actually now. I'm just waiting for my physical body to shut down more, or I'm just waiting for my mom or my dad to get more prepared. And so I do want to say that is all part of their plan. So they already know in advance that it's like a window of time that they're going to pass anytime now and within that window. Now, every so often, I have met pets, and Angel was one of them, who completely rewrote their soul contract. So they were supposed to pass on a certain time frame, and because of whatever reason, they rewrote it, went back to Creator, rewrote it, and their life was extended considerably. And so when Angel was diagnosed with metastatic cancer and she was in the ER and they told me she wasn't going to live the night, I took her home because I said I wanted her to be, if she was going to pass, I wanted to be with her in my arms. And on the drive home, I told Angel, if this is your time, I didn't know she had cancer until that night. And I said, if this is your time, then I will support you. I'm not going to hold you back. But if you want to fight this, I will fight this with you, and I will do everything I can energetically to help. And then she came to me in a dream that night and said, no, Mama, I'm not ready to leave. I want to spend more time with you. She knew at that time I needed her a little bit longer, and she ended up living 1.5 years longer. As if she had no cancer. She lived a great quality of life for another 1.5 years. Even though the doctors after days later said we can't even give her chemo because it's metastasized, but she lived pretty healthy, and she ended up passing from her seizure disorders, which she had most of her life. And at that point, when she had multiple seizures, I knew that it was her time. I knew it, and I knew that we had extended 1.5 years, and I knew that it was her time, and that is why I had to choose euthanasia. And so that does happen sometimes, that pets or even people will rewrite their contract and live longer. When I used to work in the hospital setting, I used to work in the ICU, And sometimes there would be miracles where the doctors would say, that was a miracle. That person should not have lived, and yet they lived, and they're living, and they're going to continue to live. That was a miracle, and that is the soul going back to the Creator and rewriting the contract for whatever reason and continuing on. So that does happen, but it doesn't happen often. And so when we're at the point where we, as pet parents, have to choose euthanasia, at that point, it's not going to be a rewriting of contract. At that point, part of the soul contract is they're going to pass within that window, whether you do euthanasia or not. The euthanasia, what it ends up doing is it helps reduce some of the days of discomfort. So euthanasia is actually part of the divine contract of passing. And I say this because I know how hard it is and how many times we have regrets. But it's not up to us. We're not able to cure our pets in that way. We're not able to make them live longer. All we can do is help them live comfortable and as much quality of life as they can. And they are aware of that. So again, I want to say that our pets will never blame us for choosing euthanasia. And they're always grateful when we have to choose euthanasia. And they're never afraid of passing, whether it's with euthanasia or natural passing or even an accident. They know it's their time. And for them, it's pretty matter of fact. It's pretty matter of fact because they know how wonderful it is on the other side. And they're being constantly visited by their loved ones. The veil is very thin at that point. When someone's ready to pass, the veil is very thin. And the cord that connects our soul to our physical body, or your pet soul to their physical body, is starting to loosen. So they're starting to go in and out of their body often throughout the day, throughout the night. So when they do finally leave their physical body and the cord completely separates from the physical body, it's a very easy transition. Now, from our standpoint, it may not look easy with our human eyes, but I just want you to know on a spiritual level, it is an easy transition. And so that's what I wanted to say to all you pet parents who have had to choose euthanasia or will have to choose euthanasia. Know that that is still part of their divine time passing, that is still within their window of passing, and that you are not unaliving them. You are helping them out of suffering and back to their natural state, which is the spiritual state. And that's all I wanted to say.